Hello and welcome back to Old Charles, the place where we dig deep into the stories in your pocket change. Today, we're tackling a coin that many of you in the UK will have seen, maybe even have in a jar right now. It's a coin that marks the end of an era, a coin that is incredibly common, yet holds a fascinating place in British history. If you've ever asked, what's my 1966 2-shilling piece worth? You're in the right place. But I'll warn you now, the answer is more than just a number. It's a story of a nation on the brink of monumental change. So, let's start with the basics. The 2-shilling coin, or florin, had been around since 1849 as an early step towards decimalization. But our 1966 version is special because it was the last 2-shilling coin ever minted for general circulation in the United Kingdom. Why was it the last? Because in 1971, just 5 years later, the UK would finally switch to the decimal system we know today. The old pounds, shillings, and pence were on their way out. So, the 1966 florin is like the final echo of a system that had been in place for centuries. On the obverse, the side we call heads, we have the beautiful portrait of a young Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin. This is the same iconic portrait you'll find on British decimal coins up until 1984. It's a classic, dignified profile that defines an era. Flipping it over to the reverse, the tail side, we have a stunning design by Edgar Fuller and Christopher Ironside. It features the Tudor rose, a symbol of England, entwined with a thistle for Scotland, a leek for Wales, and a shamrock for Northern Ireland. It's a powerful, floral representation of the four nations of the United Kingdom. When it was minted, it was worth, obviously, 2 shillings. In the old money, that was 24 old pence. After decimalization in 1971, its value was converted directly to 10 new pence. And that is still its asterisk legal. Tender asterisk face value today. You could, in theory, spend it as 10p. The crucial thing to understand about the 1966 florin is that it is not rare. In fact, it's one of the most common pre-decimal coins you can find. The Royal Mint struck over 144 million of them. That's a huge number. Because the Mint knew decimalization was coming, they churned these out to be used alongside the new 10p coin during the changeover period. For this reason, finding one in your change in the 1970s and even 80s was very common. So, for a circulated 1966 2-shilling coin, one that's been in pockets and tills, with wear and scratches, the value is, frankly, not much more than its face value. We're talking between 50 pence and £2, largely depending on condition. It's a great, affordable coin for a young collector starting a typeset of British coinage. The value skyrockets with condition and errors. Let's talk grades. A coin in brilliant uncirculated BU condition, meaning it never entered circulation. It's as fresh as the day it left the mint, can be worth significantly more. We're talking £5 to £15, sometimes even £20 for a truly pristine example in a mint set. Then we have proof coins. These are specially struck for collectors, with a mirror-like finish and frosted design. They come in original proof sets. A 1966 proof 2-shilling coin, in its original case with COA, can fetch £20 to £40 or more, depending on the set and its overall condition. So, should you rush to the bank with your jar of 1966 florins? Probably not. But should you take a closer look at the one you have? Absolutely one. Inspect for condition asterisk. Is it shiny with all its details sharp? You might have a more valuable uncirculated example point too. Look for errors asterisk, get a magnifying glass, and check for any doubling in the date, odd marks, or misalignments. Point 3. Consider the story asterisk even if it's only worth £1. You're holding the final chapter of Britain's pre-decimal history. That's pretty. Today, we're diving deep into a coin that every single one of you has probably held in your hand without a second thought, the humble Jefferson Nickel. To understand what makes this era so special, we need a quick history lesson. In 1982, the U.S. Mint was preparing for a big change. They were getting ready to update the master dies for the Jefferson Nickel to add the mint mark, that little D for Denver or P for Philadelphia, onto the obverse, the head side of the coin, alongside Monticello. Before 1982, the mint mark was on the reverse, the tail side, to the right of Monticello. Starting in 1983, it was moved to the obverse, just below the date. 1982 was a transition year, where both styles were minted. Now, here's the crucial part. When the Denver Mint started striking nickels for 1983, they were supposed to use brand new dies with a new design, the obverse of 1983, with the mint mark near the date. But, in what was likely a simple clerical error or a moment of haste, someone grabbed an old reverse die from 1982, one that still had the mint mark position on it, and put it into a press.so. How on earth do you tell the difference? You can't just look for the mint mark on the front and call it a day. The key is on the reverse, and you need to know exactly what to look for. I have a regular 1983 D and a confirmed example of the error here. Let's get up close. Those 5 lines are the 5 feet steps or full steps designation. But that's not the error itself. The error is that on the correct 1983 reverse die, the area where these steps are is completely flat and featureless. The fact that we can see these steps at all means we are looking at the old 1982 reverse die. The 1982 reverse die had a stronger, more detailed stairway on Monticello. When they created the new 1983 reverse die, they deliberately flattened this area to make room for the moved mint mark. So, the presence of these 5 fully defined steps is your absolute #1 clue that you are holding. The value is heavily dependent on condition. A worn coin that you can still identify with the steps might fetch a few $100s. But an uncirculated coin, one that was saved in a roll and never spent, with full luster and no wear, those are the ones breaking the $1,000 barrier. The reason is simple: scarcity. It's estimated that only a few thousand of these error coins escaped the Denver Mint, mixed in with hundreds of millions of normal 1983 D nickels. Most went into circulation and were spent, worn down, and lost. Finding one in mint state is a true treasure hunt victory. Point 1. Get a good magnifier asterisk. You cannot see this with the naked eye. A simple 5x or 10x jeweler's loupe is a must. Point 2. Only check 1983 D nickels asterisk. Ignore all other years. The Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, did not make this error. Point 3. Focus like a laser asterisk. Look at the reverse. Ignore everything else. Your eyes should be glued to the space to the right of Monticello. You are looking for those 5 distinct vertical lines. Now, a word of caution. Beware of die deterioration or machine doubling. This can sometimes create a shadow or a faint, mushy doubling that might look like steps. The real steps will be sharp, distinct, and parallel. If it looks blurry or smeared, it's probably not the error. The best place to search? Old coin rolls. Ask your family if they have any old jars of coins. Hit up your local bank and get a box of nickels to search through. It's a long shot, but the payoff is incredible. The 1983 D reverse of 1982 nickel is a perfect example of why I love coin collecting. It's a piece of history, a tangible result of a simple mint mistake. It turns an ordinary object into a hidden gem and makes every handful of change a potential lottery ticket. So, I have a challenge for you. Next time you get a nickel in your change, take a quick glance at the date. If it's a 1983 D, find a magnifier and take a closer look. You never know. You might just be 5 cents away from a 4-figure.